I don't like the word waste. From an organic perspective, yes, I know in certain conversations you need to use the word waste, but my view is there's no waste. I mean, we can value add anything that's organic and turn it into a product that has value.
We had a time where I asked Stephen to come to site and have a look at all the waste timber that we had on site. And those that know Stephen, that cheeky grin he's got when I said, do you reckon you could clean this up for me but keep it on site here so I could use it for boiler fuel? And he said, I've been waiting years for someone to ask me that, and I'm surprised it took so long. So it was a great financial outcome for both parties. But yeah, it's something that he's more a problem solver than a problem maker, that's for sure.
The beginning of the story is my father, as an earth moving business 50 years ago, was often employed by the local timber mills to do an amount of earthworks. And there was always this pile of sawdust or pile of pine bark that was problematic and in the way, and part of the service was that Dad was back then paid to take the material away. Just shift it because there was no use for it. And that was the foundations to what is now Van Schaik's Biogrow. We often say that this business was built on the back of one backhoe, so that's a fact, it was true. He was clever, Dad, because as I said, we'd work on weekends out at the Wandillo site, but he was teaching us how to operate equipment. We were actually working.
Stephen was, I believe, has always been quite innovative in his approach, so starting from a very simple business model where making potting mix, I suppose, to the point now where it's developed into mediums for broadacre pasture and really helped create an outlet for all of the log that you purchased or processed. We've used some of it on our own farms this year, and you do that through leadership, and it's been Stephen's leadership and I guess innovative ideas that have really developed the business to what it is today.
It wasn't until we started then handling clean pine bark, as in debark log pine bark, that we then were able to utilise that material in high-grade potting media. And it revolutionised the nursery industry because, here was this material that no longer was dug out of the mountains, of the Dandenong foothills, or it could replace the material that was imported from Europe. So it quickly gained quite a following, and to the point now that we supply into the nursery market, in excess of 60 to 70,000 cubic metres a year just in the Victoria alone. This is a perfect example of circular economy where the pine bark is derived from the mature trees. It's debarked off the log at the timber mill. We purchase that pine bark and deliver it to the Wandillo facility. We compost it into high-grade potting media that we supply back to, in this case, OFO's Glencoe Nursery, that grows the next generation of pine trees. But it is a true circular economy, so we get excited when we talk about that. I often reflect back now looking at it with the quality of material that we produce couldn't be produced if we didn't have this unique timber and forest region in these areas.
Everyone sees it every day. You go into Bunnings and you buy a pot plant, or you buy a bag of mulch and you see Biogrow all over it. So, and it's a family legacy. His parents started that business, and then Stephen and Heather, awesome couple, great people, really focused on Mount Gambier, and you look how they get behind things like the Pioneers Basketball Club and everything else. They're a long stayer of the Mount Gambier community.
Heather, my wife, she's been by my side for quite some time. But yeah, she's my right-hand lady.
We met at North Gambier Football Club Disco, and we've been together ever since, which is probably nearly 40 years. Yeah, to me, he'll be a legend because of his integrity, his honesty, and he's just a good person.
90% of our customers are family-owned businesses. It is all about relationships. So I enjoy watching our children develop relationships with other family-owned businesses and their next generation, and you can see that starting to form now. I probably enjoy now looking at how this business ticks and let our kids now take more ownership of running their parts of the business. So it's that evolution, I guess. Dad watched me develop those relationships and then move forward. So now I'm watching that with our children.
The Van Schaik family and Stephen out the front of it, just the way that they have developed those products and those markets and the employment they create within our community and all that sort of thing, it's been great to see, and I think people will reflect on that and see that.
It's all I know. I was the first employee at Biogro and now the longest serving employee, so I'm proud of that. So yeah, it's been a journey.